The reason I stopped playing hockey was my mom got tired of me coming home with a bloody nose.
Hello and welcome to episode number 82 of Unrelenting, August 25th, 2023. I am Darren O'Neill coming to you live from a bunker deep in the heart of Middle America where audio gremlins ain't going to get us, Gene. They are not going to get us.
They try hard, man.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you get new gear.
Yeah, speaking of, well, I didn't really get new gear. I had old gear that rebooted.
Yeah, that's never happened to me as of yet, which I should knock on
really?
Like everything. Yeah,
I want to say I've probably had the Motu for about 5 years now, and I'd say probably once a year I come in with my computer fully rebooted and the Motu turned off, and when I turn the Motu on, it says, "Oh, cool, I'm a new device with all brand new settings." Now, so it doesn't happen consistently, but about once a year it kind of does. All the saved settings are in there.
In the Motu, okay.
In the Motu.
But you just need to show your computer what channels to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, do you turn your Motu off? Because I used to nightly and then just was
I never turn it off. I always leave it on. That's why it's always a surprise if it's ever off.
Right. It's like, wait, what's going on here? The only problem is you can't turn off. And Motu, come on, there should have been something in the firmware to be able to turn the light off on that whole front panel. So I just cover it with a Post-it note.
Do you sleep next to your Motu?
No, but it's still annoying.
Give a shit if there's light for.
Because I don't even like looking down when it's on. It can, you catch it out of the corner of your eye. I'd rather not have the light on, but I guess I could turn it around. Somebody mentioned that it could, because it's not like you fiddle with the buttons on this thing.
You could also just put a Post-it note permanently in front of it and not care what it's because you're not looking at it when you're fiddling around, right? You're looking at the software.
You could just put a little box, make it, part of the monitor, because it's my monitor stand for a monitor. I have a 19-inch monitor that just sits right on top of it. Works perfectly. So I have two 19-inch monitors. That one's on the left with the Motu under it. On the right, I have the Aphex Big Bottom and Oral Exciter.
Are they the same height?
That is, no, but the monitors, even though these were old, crappy Dell 19-inch monitors, they have height adjustments, so they look like they're the same height.
Yeah, that was one thing Dell always did. I noticed, well, I shouldn't say always, but that is one thing that I remember back from many years ago that differentiated Dell monitors from other monitor brands, is Dell's had height adjustments.
Yes, which is very nice. Especially if you're doing stuff like this, because it's like, well, I want to put something under this one and something under that one, and if they're not the same height, it would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm OCD, but I may be, because that would drive me nuts.
I think you're the OCD that every Gen Xer is, which is not clinically definable, but definitely still there because our parents actually made us do shit.
Right. I just want this in a certain way. Come on.
In
a certain way, and that would make sense. But you're sounding good. I mean, I've got you running through the EQ, which it should have been, because that was the last show as well. And we're now live EQing you, which is nice.
Nice
for the people on the stream. And I've even added a little compressor on this side. Oh, it's nice.
I don't know why you need to do all that crap, frankly. I mean, the EQ, fine, but the compressor, like, I've got that on my side. It's never going to go into the red. It's going to go right up against it.
Well, it's not about going into the red, because sometimes you trail off a little bit, and this just keeps you so everybody can hear you.
I think that should be fixed now as well, because I reduced the decibel amount for the cutoff.
You were tweaking.
Yeah, well, not much, just a little bit. I don't. This was back when I had the other mic hooked up, when I plugged in the Harry, not the Harry.
Right, your fake, maybe real, the sure are sure. Did you? Okay,
it's as real as every other one.
Yeah, I'm taking you. Okay, I've got you clean now. I've got you without any extra added.
So let's see if you can tell that I sound different. I mean, the EQ is obviously going to make a difference. That's
right.
No two ways about it. But as far as compression, I don't know that I really need that.
Oh, there are LED covers you can just get to put over things.
Can you buy one? Can you spend money? That's great.
That's a great idea, Omega Project. Thank you. I didn't know those things even exist, but
yeah, I would use a Post-it note myself, but what do I know?
Because this isn't just like a little LED light. This is a screen that's like 4 inches by 3 inches or whatever this thing is.
It's 1 inch by 2.5.
Okay, see, I always think things are bigger, Gene.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh, man, I tell you, this is Unrelenting, the show that people say is kind of like the Seinfeld of podcasting. You never know where we're going to go.
I've heard people say that.
But what was your overall take on that microphone? Was it, do you believe it was real?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's, honestly, I kind of felt like it was cleaner than the RE320. But I like what the RE320 does to the sound of my voice.
And that's the most interesting thing I think people can pick up from watching Bandrew's podcasted YouTube channel is every microphone has a coloration to it. Every microphone sounds a little bit different. So you're not necessarily looking for, and it's the same thing with headphones. Most people, I like headphones that are more studio monitor standard, which very flat, doesn't accentuate the bass, doesn't accentuate the high end. But most people, they think they sound like crap.
That's totally true. I use reference K701s back when they were still made in Austria. And it's weird for me to put on headphones that aren't flat because everything just sounds different.
Yes.
It's kind of like when you push that like fake surround button.
Right. Oh, yeah.
On video games or whatever on a computer screen. And it's like, turn on fake surround. It totally does something. Yeah.
We're pretending it's going to make it sound better, but no, maybe not.
Well, it's different. Honestly, I'd probably leave it on that most of the time. But still, it's that it's not what was recorded. It's an interpretation of what was recorded. Whereas when you're using reference headphones, you're getting as close as possible to what was recorded or what's coming out of the mic.
Right. Not sweetened at all.
Right. Or sweetened just the way that you want it sweetened.
But thanks to the Clip Custodian,
not the headphones.
Just came in with a 11-11-1, so 11111 Satoshi boost, which makes him our top donor so far for the show.
Yeah, wow. What does that translate into? $5?
About 3, because CSB came in with his 8015. When again, Privyet comrades, he likes the Russian. Please recommend www.
Don't say that. He'll be offended.
Right. Don't say the Russian thing. Please recommend www.csblol to your listeners. And I looked that up. The 8015 was $2.08. So
okay.
Yeah, so now, thanks to the Clip Custodian,
you can run.
We've made a grand total combined of $5 for this show.
$5.
$2.50 basis. We should do like a telethon. Like, come on, who wants to come in? Do we have tote bags?
We're going to stay here on the air until we make at least $100. Might take 2 days.
If you come in with a donation of 500,000 Satoshis or more, you will get a free Gene Nevtuliev poncho. So if you can come in with that, that would be great.
I see you're giving my shit away as usual. Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't have any shit to give away, so I figured I would give away your stuff. We got a Gene poncho. We've got he could probably even get you a book on podcasting that was written in 1986, so it's a little bit out.
Hey, 1996. Come on, man. Come on, man.
It was close. I knew it was right in there somewhere.
Yeah, sure, I wrote the book before Adam created podcasting, but so what?
Whoa.
It's a good book.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're saying is, if it were not for that book, Adam would have never done podcasting.
Well, the book just wasn't very popular until podcasting came along.
Because podcasting didn't exist.
Right. So people looked at it like, what is this? What is this podcasting thing you wrote a book about?
So are you taking credit now for the birth of podcasting yourself? Is that where we're...
No, I was waiting for it to be invented so the book could sell.
Ah, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
NetNed Boost 300 Sat says, what does 300 get me? That gets you howdy, fuck you, NetNed. That's what a 300 Satoshi boost gets you. But he likes that. Gene's like, nice. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go.
We love NetNet. He's in the city of fucking Detroit.
Oh, is that where he's from?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a brave man to be in Detroit.
Yeah, or stupid man. They're both.
Well, I mean, he hasn't gotten shot yet. I'm assuming he's well armed.
Are you sure he hasn't gotten shot yet?
Have you gotten shot yet, NetNet? Just to confirm, or
how many times have you gotten shot with me? Maybe a better question.
That is a better question in Detroit.
Then again, you're in Chirac, so I should ask you that too.
Yeah, I know the numbers.
Although you pretend to be in Chirac, you're
just outside of Chirac,
1,000 miles outside of Chirac.
No, it's not 1,000, but it's not 1 or 2. I got right outside of Cook County, which Chicago's in. I'm in Will County, right over the border into Will County.
Which to me kind of sounds like not really Chirac.
Yeah, then NetNet came in with a sack of 7. So 7777. Mm-hmm. That plus 333. I think that beats CSB. So CSB goes to the bottom of the leaderboard.
Oh, yeah. CSB's the bottom. There you go.
The Clip Custodian on top. This is going to be a tough battle today for the the unrelentlers.
So given our topics for the show, I figured I'd bring up the fact that I don't know if you watched it, because I don't know if you subscribed to my feed or not, but I posted a video about the early days of Poland.
I did not see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's, I figured both you and CSB might be interested in that. And it talks about how the olden raiders of that area were terrorizing everybody else around them, including the Vikings.
Well, there was a lot of different things going on in the world.
Yeah.
Before you get into that,
video even mentions Pomeranian.
Oh, well, he loves the Pomeranian.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, the Omega Project Man coming in with 22.2. So he goes right to the top of the board and says, you can now afford almost to buy one of those LED covers. So thank you.
Oh, almost. Exactly. Let's just say you can probably afford a Post-it note.
Blitz said, I just said Nazi. The algos must be seething. Did I say Nazi? Can you say Nazi on a podcast?
Why would you not be able to say that?
I don't know. The algos
unless you're posting it on YouTube, in which case, no, you can't say Nazi.
Like, you can't even mention Nazis. No. Yeah. No.
Speaking of mentioning things,
yes,
and feel free to keep interrupting as money comes in.
And thank you, Omega Project.
Yeah, thanks everybody. So did you watch Jordan Peterson or anything about Jordan Peterson recently? The Canadian court had sided with the College of Psychologists up there, or psychiatrists, whichever one he is, and basically said that, yes, Jordan Peterson, while he has freedom of speech granted by the Canadian Constitution, if he wants to be a member of a professional organization like the College of Psychologists, then he will have certain restrictions on his speech that they deem to be correct.
Wow. So to be a part of their little group, you have to.
Yes.
This is kind of like the Republicans. Will you sign a pledge?
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand the point for all that thing, whatever. But the idea being, I mean, I understand how their thought process went, because if you have, for example, a private company that is in the business of, let's say, something gun related, let's make it very divisive, right? And then you're out there on social media being a complete anti-gunner and talking about how horrible the gun industry is and how guns ought to be banned while working for that company, I could see how you may be told, stop doing that or you're going to get fired, right?
Right, because it's completely against what your paycheck is pushing.
Yeah, like you're actively working against your employer. That's generally considered a fireable offense. However, in this particular case, he's not working for the College of Psychiatrists. They just happen to be the body that grants the paperwork that allows him to call himself a psychologist. They're not the only body that does that. And in fact, as it turns out, it's not the Canadian Psychologist College, it's the Ontario College of Psychologists. So one of the provinces of Canada land up north there, the top hat of America. And so this group probably has a total population of like 20 million people or something that would be represented by them. So it's a tiny, piddly little thing, but they're making a big deal about it. And the amazing part here, and it was quite interesting seeing just how animated and emotional he got while discussing it. But yeah, the court kind of agreed with him and said, yeah, they, if they don't like you representing psychologists by talking about how kids shouldn't be castrated,
right?
Well, then you shouldn't be saying that kids shouldn't be castrated because they don't want you to, if you want to remain a psychologist or a psychiatrist, whichever one he is.
And that makes perfect sense.
Does it?
I think so. In the insanity that is the new world.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes down to that, what group do you want to be a part of?
Right.
And then the question is, does your accreditation that you need for your professional livelihood come from these people? And is there an alternative? Because we saw it with the COVID stuff. There is no more science if you shut down people that are a part of these groups that are like, wait, I look at this data differently, and here's what if you shut all that down, then there no longer is science.
No, you're not allowed to do research on a particular topic because that topic's been settled.
And our buddy CSB
That's
coming
called
in
not science
with another 3333 saying, I don't want to be bottom. Well, that is beautiful, CSB.
All right. So somebody else needs to send more money to take CSB back to the bottom.
We need a live leaderboard kind of thing going during the show.
We
Maybe
do.
This is our new thing. This would be great.
I think we got to start doing video, apparently.
Yes, and have a leaderboard.
And all we have on the video, we don't even need us, maybe just a couple of pictures of us, but we just need a leaderboard.
Right, the running total of
the live update on the Satoshis, exactly.
That is a great idea.
Isn't it?
Omega Project says CSB is my favorite bottom, but I think that's something completely different. These people are here all week. Come tip your podcasters.
I know, right? Damn.
The troll room is always on fire. Trollroom.io. That's where you want to be when we do these shows live. When do we do them? On Fridays.
Friday Morgan's like forever.
Like 10 a.m. Central. We're both on that Central time. It's a beautiful thing.
We're both on that not waking up too early time.
I know. It's like, wait, do you want to do a 6 a.m. show? It'd be like, no.
No.
I always liked the morning guy, Jonathan Brandmeier that was here in Chicago. Yeah. But it's like, I couldn't do the 5 a.m. thing starting the show. That's early.
You get used to it. I'm sure you get used to it. He goes to sleep early.
Well, that's it. I don't know if it would be weird because you'd be like, well, I'm going to bed at 7 or 6 o'clock at night, and because you have to get up so early. But it depends on what your internal clock is like.
8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Probably 9 o'clock, I think.
Depends if you're a heavy sleeper or not, How many hours do you like to get? 12, 15 a day? Is that what you're up to?
Huh. Yeah, I'm lucky to get 6.
Really? See, I need at least 7 to 8.
I used to. I think it's one of those things that I think has changed over time. Is as I've gotten older, I just don't sleep as much, even when there's no alarm going off.
You're like, I'm just up. Now, if I get up for any reason after sleeping 6 hours, I'm probably not falling back asleep. So that's like the worst time to have to get up to pee is like after sleeping for 6 hours, because then it's this.
Do you nap?
No, I do not. I know CSB does on a daily basis.
So this is do a little siesta.
Yeah.
Yeah. The I never used to nap, like, ever. And then, like, once I was up until it was dark out. And I found myself in the last few years, during COVID, I think is when I really noticed it, is even if I get up at like 9 a.m. or something, not particularly early, probably right around 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was kind of yawning and just take a little nap, sleep for about an hour and a half, wake back up, then be awake till midnight.
Then play video games until 4 in the morning.
Well, I try not to do till 4. I did play till 3 a.m. last night.
See? I can tell.
Yeah, I know. Can you?
You can hear it in the voice.
Every time? Really?
Yeah, you can hear it.
I use the voice while I'm playing. I mean, I'm playing with other people, so I'm talking to them.
We can just tell exactly how much sleep you've gotten. That's the high or low of your voice. That's why you have to EQ to get you right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, well, and this is actually, I don't know, people probably don't know this, but why I record all my podcasts, including when I was doing my solo one in the morning, is because I like the sound of my voice in the morning. So,
now, does that give you a little extra boost if you take a nap for like an hour and a half? Do you get
it? Does not. No.
Damn.
No. It's I think what it is, and I'm just going off of theoretically here. This is not anything I've researched, but I suspect that the vocal cords not only are not being used while you're sleeping at night, so they're more relaxed, which means they're not as tight, so you get a lower pitch, but also like gravity has an effect. So when you're horizontal, I think your voice box changes shape slightly. And then over the course of the next several hours after waking up and being vertical, it starts to change shape again for the rest of the day. So I suspect if you were to sleep standing up or sitting down, let's say, which is easier to imagine, that there probably wouldn't be much difference in vocal sound.
That would make sense. Over the last week,
it makes sense, but I have no idea if it's true. It's just something that seems like it probably is the case.
I've averaged 7 hours and 37 minutes of sleep over the last 7 days.
Oh, that's a good point. I could probably look that up too. That should be in the health app, right?
We have the data.
Yeah, got all kinds of data. So, so apparently I snore at 95 decibels. That's useful data.
That's pretty loud, man.
I know.
95 decibels?
Yeah.
That's getting like jet plane sounding, isn't it? I mean, because like 60.
Well, I say totally if you're going to do something, you should do it well.
You should, yeah. You should. 95 decibels. Damn.
Where's the average? I'm seeing the last night. So do I go for week or?
It was just right in the main health.
Was it really?
Yeah. And then you can still drill
average
down.
Time sleep 5 hours 37 minutes.
Oh, that's not enough.
Well, who says?
That's true, I suppose. Now here's
that's for the week. For the month, 5 hours 46 minutes.
The sound of a subway train at 200 feet away.
Yeah.
95 decibels.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's what most people that have been in the same room with me say.
Yeah, they're like, which is why nobody wants to sleep in the same room.
Well, yeah, I mean, luckily you don't need to. You get enough bedrooms.
A vacuum cleaner, 75 decibels.
Right.
Level at which sustained exposure may result in hearing loss, 80 to 90.
Well, that explains my hearing loss.
See, there we go.
I'm so damn loud.
You're like, when is Gene being exposed to all of this loud noise?
I know, right? There's no airplanes nearby. There's no motorcycles. It's just me.
Just you sleeping. Now, can you put in earplugs while you're sleeping to save you from your own snoring?
Yeah. If I put on earplugs, I sleep like a baby.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's... I did one of those sleep study things because they were trying to get me on the apathy machine.
Oh, right. Yeah, they want to put the mask.
They want to put everybody on an apathy machine. Get you to be Darth Vader and stuff.
Don't they know you have no apathy?
I know. I keep telling them. So did that thing. That was annoying because you got all these wires coming off of you all night long. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, you totally need to get one. I was like, well, I don't think I do, but all right. So what do we got? What's available? And they're like, oh, we'll get you a machine for about $1,000. I'm like, okay. And how much does insurance cover? Well, insurance will cover anything over $800, meaning $200.
Right. You have to pay up to that point.
It's like, Jesus Christ. What? But yeah, don't worry about it. We can rent you a machine and that'll save you money. And how much is renting going to be? So if I can rent one for $80 a month.
Oh, well, after a year,
I'm like, wait,
and a half.
hold up. So I'm basically paying for a machine after a year, and insurance has no part of it at that point.
Can't you get it from Rent-A-Center, rent-to-own?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, this is bull. So anyway, I was looking at them, but the one that I liked was like $1,800, and so I never ended up getting it. So I'm like, it's just, I don't think I really need one of these things, but whatever. And then I ended up getting a sensor for the bed that measures all kinds of stuff. It measures, it measures my snoring.
Obviously.
And, it measures.
How many microphones do they need to do this?
How often? Oh, it's like it's got a whole ton of mics in there. And it measures the snoring. It measures how often I roll over. It measures what part of the bed I'm actually laying on. It's a whole ton of measurements that it provides, which is pretty cool. I like measuring stuff. Like I've always been I'm sure there's a technical term for somebody that likes measuring things, but
insane.
Oh yeah, nerd. That's it.
Yes, you want all the data. If every little bit,
all the data, exactly.
Because that way you feel like you can do something about it.
Yeah, I guess, or at least just knowing is the whole battle.
Yeah, I mean, at least it gives you what you need to work on,
or not even work on, but just knowing is enough. Like, if you knew exactly the day and time that you'd be dead, would you really need to worry and do anything about it? Because now it's all predictable.
Right, you know exactly what it's going to be, unless you feel like you can do something about it. Now, if you got...
but why delude yourself?
Well, if your Apple device was like, you are going to die in 5 years, and then you started exercising for an hour a day, and it's like, you are now going to die in 12 years, would you...
No, that's not the way it works. This is reality. What if it did? The way it works is now you're going to die in 2 years.
You're right. The more healthy
you will be hit by a truck in 2 years.
Right. This is
because now you're jogging, which you never used to do, and now you're apt to be crossing the road more.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
I only exercise in the house because I know I'd be the one getting hit by a truck.
I ain't leaving the house.
Nope. It seems very unsafe out there. I just want to sit here, turn on my YouTube.
Disturbed podcast today.
I've got an old, like I said, 40-inch TV, which I may have to replace because there's lines that are starting to form on it. So I guess the panel must be going. But it's only in front of the bike, and it's only for YouTube, so I don't really care that much. But I just keep delving into more things on YouTube, and I don't know if that
welcome to my world.
I know. The more I look into all of this AI stuff, the more it's like, well, this seems like a way to scam people out of money, is what it really kind of seems to be.
Yeah. You're calling CSB a scammer now? Is that what you're doing?
No, but he should be rich. Because he should have like 1,000.
He's giving you money every week. I'd say he probably is.
It's possible, yeah. But he could have like a whole influencer farm that is all just not real people, all AI, that no problem whatsoever. Just create whatever you want. You really can't trust anything you see on Instagram or TikTok or any of those.
You have no business looking at either one of those two.
Okay, OnlyFans, well, your favorite. You can't trust
OnlyFans, yeah. You can trust a few things on there, but not much.
You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and I've always preferred the AI stuff on there anyway.
Well, it's beautiful. You just create it and it's there.
Yeah. And I sent you, I don't know, a couple of months back, I think, links to 3 different virtual chicks. And they look pretty damn good.
Well, there are different levels of virtual, as we've talked about, where some are actual people behind the scenes.
Yeah, these are more cartoony virtual, but not like Japanese cartoony, like
not anime, right?
Like not anime, like high quality video game cartoony looking versus anime looking.
You're like very close, like the Cryreal Engine or one of those, like that.
Right, but not like photorealistic where you can't tell. Right. You can definitely tell they're computer done. But the cool thing is that they're done in real time. So it's real time rendering so that people are interacting with them in real time. And I think that's what makes it cooler, is that you're not just watching playback or a video game or something. You're actually interacting with somebody that looks like a video game, but is talking to you and moving around and doing stuff.
The kind of stuff I get from Gene in my Signal account in the middle of the night are like pictures of anime girls with, "This is what guys like today. We are doomed. This is what they're into." And it's like, yeah, it's weird. I don't there are some things that I will never just
clarify what you mean by that. What I sent you was literally like anime cat girl images, right, which seem to be the most popular thing right now for young men, which makes no fucking sense to me because it's like it's not just like a more beautiful version of a woman. It is a anime chick that's half cat.
Right, which is
with a tail and ears.
And it's obviously drawn, so that's the other thing, like your turn on is somebody drew something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't understand that either. And I know I'm in a minority here because I've always preferred the most realistic looking video games. Like I want stuff in there to literally get to the point where you can't tell that it is a video game because it looks like life. And there's been one group of video games that have kept on moving in that direction, and those are typically the first person shooter games. They tend to get more and more and more realistic.
Right.
Although there's some cartoon ones there as well. But a lot of other video games, if you just look at Steam and you look at what's on sale, like 90% of the crap that's on sale looks as shitty as video games did when Nintendo first came out in the late 90s. I mean, it's just like, what the hell? This is what people want to play? Stuff that looks low res or like 8-bit? You got to be crazy.
You know, I like that for people that grew up on it because it's a nostalgia thing. But beyond that, with you. You want the if you go back, I had as a kid an Intellivision, which was one of the weirdest video consoles ever because it had a numeric keypad and a little disc at the bottom and then a couple of buttons on the side. That was the controller. So it was one of the weirder controllers, but then you had overlays that would go over. So every game that you would get, and the first game I remember getting on the Intellivision, and I'm lucky I didn't turn into a gambling addict because it was horse racing.
Oh.
And it was like really cool. It was like, oh, wow, because it would do like 10 and then you'd bet and it gave you like some very basic data, that kind of thing. I thought it was kind of a cool thing.
Interesting.
But if you go back to, that was the second generation. The first was the Atari 2400, 2600. What was the Atari number? I'm blanking. Yeah,
2600. And then there was was it a 5200, I think?
Maybe the upgraded version kind of thing. Well, the classic Atari,
it wasn't 28. It was 20. I can't remember.
See, there's numbers and it's very confusing.
There's numbers. 2600, yeah.
That was the original, I think, was the 2600. Now, they just came out with something that will play those old cartridges that has a bunch of games, I think, inside. There's been a bunch of these emulators that have come out.
Right.
But baseball, playing the baseball game in that original Atari, where there were like stick figures that as you move the joystick, all 8 players on the screen moved in the same way at the same time. We've come a long way from that. But I understand.
Atari 5200 was the newer one.
Okay. Yeah. But I understand going back for a nostalgia thing to kind of be like, oh, that's kind of cool. But
it's just shit, man.
But here's the thing. When they became too realistic, it took something out of it that in some aspects of it didn't feel like playing a game anymore. There were a few of these video games that first, was it Dirk something or other, that like one of these first games that came out. Remember, it was a disc based. It was in the arcade.
Yeah. It was done by a guy who ended up in Disney. It was like a night simulator thing.
Yes, and it was you did it was
basically an interactive cartoon.
Yes. And you did something on the screen, and then it was like you had no control over the next thing that happened for the next 5 minutes. And it was like, this sucks.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't 5 minutes. The video game was priced more expensively because it required more hardware. But essentially, what they did is they created a choose your own adventure thing.
Right.
That was all cartooned out. And effectively, your actions simply picked the next cartoon segment that it would play. And they were all stored on the Laserdisc. So it wasn't, there's nothing being rendered on the fly. But because it was a cartoon and it was on the Laserdisc, it was super high quality, unlike all the video games in the 80s.
The clip custodian on it, Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair, that's right. Yeah, Dirk was. I think that was the name of the guy, though. Is Dirk?
Let's see here. 1983, an interactive Laserdisc video game.
Yep.
Developed by Advanced Microcomputer Systems and published by Cinematronics in 1983.
Cinematronics, that's right. Yep.
Dirk the Daring is a knight attempting to rescue Princess Daphne from the evil dragon Singe.
Boy, that sounds like a Donkey Kong knockoff, but okay.
Yes, and you're absolutely correct. And that was Blitz was the first one on that one as well, saying Don Bluth.
Don Bluth, yes, that's the guy that ended up at Disney. Yep.
Yes, ex-Disney animator. Well, it looks like maybe he was an ex-Disney animator at the time, so maybe he went from Disney to this.
Oh, okay, maybe. I thought he went to Disney, but maybe it was the other way around.
He figured, wait, I can go make money on my own. But that was
I remember playing that game. I was not particularly good at it because it cost 50 cents instead of a quarter to play.
Well, you're like, fuck that.
So yeah, usually, because I can go play. What did I usually play back then? I think. Well,
1983 was literally. You think about the other
Donkey
games that
Kong
were out
for sure.
Right.
I was
Pac-Man,
really good at that. I
Donkey
could play a long
Kong.
time. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of
Galaga.
Pac-Man, but a quarter would last a lot longer.
Asteroids was a little earlier.
Yeah. What was the one where you're like a spaceship flying and shooting stuff?
Oh, Z. It starts with a Z. Zaxxon.
Zaxxon, yeah.
I loved Zaxxon, man.
That was a great game.
It had that just enough 3D kind of imagery to where you had to try to fly up and down to not get your spaceship zapped. So yeah, I played those video games way back in the day.
Totally.
And this was so different. It was interesting because it was so different. And if we
some of us are still playing space games.
You are, yeah. This now they've done this, but rather than have it have to be a laser disc, like you said, which was more of a choose your own adventure, now you have the ability to interact with these characters, and we have the combination of things now, which is we have the large language models that are. I will give it. It's better than the original Eliza from way back in the day.
Oh my God, it's way better.
I know, but we had that back then as well. Just kind of want to point out these things have origins going way back into the early 80s. But now, not only can you speak and have a conversation, you combine the text processing ability with the visual that it can take a realistic looking person and put it on the screen in front of you. And it can also synthesize the voice that doesn't sound.
And also, you talk to it like it's doing voice recognition. So
right.
I don't know if I sent you the video or not. There's a guy that did a video on this exact topic. So he was in this game that uses AI for its NPCs to literally where every NPC walking down the street is hooked up to a language model, so you can interact and have a conversation with them on any topic. And so he decided to go out and he's going to tell all these NPCs that they're actually in the video game and they have no free will. And it was really cool to watch as the NPCs are arguing with him and saying that, no, I'm not, no, this is reality. What are you talking about? Or saying, well, sure, some people think we live in a video game, but obviously that's bullshit.
It's a simulation.
And you're literally watching a video game character telling you this. So it kind of, it may be a little too close for comfort.
Well, it is. And there was an interview article with Stephen King, and they were asking him about the AI writing. And he's like, I don't think it is at the point yet. He's like, it's something that at a glance looks good, but if you really look into the details, it's not quite there yet. He's like, but I'm not going to be naive enough to tell you that it's never going to get there. And it's interesting. He's like, it's a creativity thing. He's like, I don't think there is creativity without being sentient. He's like, but people are now trying to push that these machines are sentient. So he's like, who the fuck knows?
Well, first of all, that's bullshit. There's no creativity without being sentient. You can't prove that.
And it depends on how you define it. When you look at the artwork that all of these AI art generators are throwing out, there are some images that human beings looking at are like, wow, that's impressive. That is inspiring. It's like, the machine may not have meant to be, but what is creativity? Do you have to mean to be creative? No. I don't. Absolutely I agree.
Not. What is photography but taking images that already exist, but noticing them and then capturing them to share with other people?
Yes, and framing them in such a way.
Yeah, but like they exist. If your eyeball happens to walk by there, you'll see it.
You're just like, wow, that would look good on my wall. Let me snap a picture.
Pretty much. That's great wallpaper. Let me just get that.
That's pretty much what photographers do.
Yeah. But no, that's why I always used to say people, I think a lot of people didn't like me saying it, but I've always believed it to be true, is that when I actually made money and sold photos, what I mostly did is fine art stuff. So it's basically just beautiful outdoor vistas or interesting, unusual indoor stuff. But I always sold large format stuff. So it's like 30 by 60. But I always just said, look, I sell expensive wallpaper.
Right. And that's something most people, the technology is getting way better now. But 20 years ago, if you wanted to, if you even were in the right place, you're in the most beautiful place in the world, you've got a camera that you can afford, you take a picture, blowing it up to 30 by 60 was probably not going to look good. Yeah,
I know when I used to shoot film, because I've been, shooting photos for my whole life pretty much. My dad was a photographer, but it was I think the biggest I would typically go would be an 8x10. And if you get much bigger than that, if you go to like a 16 by 12, you start seeing the graininess of the film.
Right.
And that's even if you're shooting like Kodachrome 64, which is a really good film, you're gonna still start to see grain. Remember, people have this nostalgic view of film, but realistically, digital today is way higher quality than film ever was, and bordering on and bordering on either side. Like you could literally say it's better than our eyeballs. Right now, a lot of cameras shoot as good as our eyeballs, and there's a few cameras that shoot better than our eyeballs. And I'm not talking about the lenses. I'm talking about just purely from a sensor standpoint.
Right.
That there are more pixels than what our retinas can see. Yeah.
And the interesting thing there is you can still, for what people liked, and for whatever reason, I mean, and I get it, it's the nostalgia thing again. They liked the things like the Polaroid pictures because they had that certain...
The worst.
Well, of course, but you knew what it was when you saw it, or you had the light leak at the one edge.
Exactly.
But people now recreate that because it gives a certain vibe of a certain time and place, which is why for me, it's like very strange when you take some of those old photos and you can now make them better. And the interesting thing, and I think this is one of the reasons the AI stuff is getting so good so fast, is the ability now to upscale. I mean, if you're still doing any kind of photography,
incredible. Yeah.
The AI stuff that like Topaz.
We did have some good algorithms in the past. They've typically been expensive and not part of Photoshop.
Right.
Photoshop was always kind of lacking, but there were always some good algorithms for doing posters, for really cranking stuff up and keeping the lines instead of big square pixels. But what we have right now is like next level, where we can zoom in and keep zooming. I remember this actually is a very long time ago. This would have been 1990, I believe. I was at the Nobel conference, and the topic was fractals. And this is where I got to meet Benoit Mandelbrot and a bunch of other guys that were really in that field, mathematicians. And it was one of the speakers was talking about a fractal compression algorithm for photography, to where or for images, not for photography, but for images, to where the images described mathematically through fractals, making its size, irrelevant, or what will be the phrase, any size. Right. You could zoom in to where you want to, and it was a brand new idea at the time, because typically, most images were pretty damn small, and with 256 colors, we're just getting into 16-bit color back then. But it was fascinating to hear about this new way of really taking an image, translating into a mathematical formula, and then really using that to recreate the image. And it was not, things were not perfect. Like you had to sort of take shortcuts when you're describing the image that way, but the image, if you were okay with what the end result after the transformation, then that transformative image would be scalable to any size. But now I think we're at a point where you can literally take any image and blow it up to almost any size, and it just keeps looking amazing.
And this is where I don't know exactly what it's doing, but there's some of these products, like Topaz has a couple different ones. They have AI at the end. The interesting thing is...
And Topaz has been in this... Sorry to interrupt you, but Topaz has been making specifically enlargement and enhancement filters for probably 20 years.
Yeah, which they're probably just making more money than Adobe on half of this stuff, because they're good. They are good. And the Clip Custodian also put a link to the Wikipedia page for the Mandelbrot set for people who really want to geek out, because I'm looking at the mathematics involved in this, and it's like, that would make my brain hurt. But these things that you can run, these upscalers, the ones that Topaz has, and there are other companies that have them. The interesting thing is they're now looking at the image. It's not just taking the pixels and making them larger. It's looking at the image. It's telling you where the faces are. It's giving you control over if you want to bring back, because if you have a very small photo of a person and you blow that up, the details and things like the eyes and that just aren't going to be there in that source image, but they kind of make it up. They add it into it. They add these little details that make it look more realistic. Now, it may not be 100% realistic, but what they're adding to it, as you said, once you start blowing these things up, looks very realistic, and the whole, skin tones and all of that. It's amazing. And I'm looking at the image generators and all of this, like the Stable Diffusion. It's like, well, for most people, you're creating an image that's 512 by 512, which by today's standards, you're like, well, that's nothing.
Crap. It's a postage stamp.
Right. But then you run it through some of these filters, and it's like, wait, now it's at a usable size.
Well, and also if you've installed your own version of the software, you can control the size a lot more.
If you have a video card, I tried that. You need the video. You need a big, juicy video card to get bigger.
Or a couple. I shared a link with you if you want to post that to the chat thing. So that's a video from the conference I was talking about. See, people think I make shit up.
Well, don't you?
Well, no. It's all true. Every word that comes out of my mouth.
Every word is true, unless you can prove it.
This was a conference I was at where I met Benoit Mandelbrot.
Photos or it doesn't. Are you in this video? Will you be in here? Can you?
I might be.
Jeans in the back, dark hat, sunglasses,
long beard.
Long beard, right? The beard gives him away. Everybody else completely clean shaven. There's one guy with a beard. That's Gene.
Exactly.
But that kind of technology lets you do some amazing stuff. Now, some of this AI stuff I think is just creepy, like the things where you can take a photograph and it will animate it. Mm-hmm. So you're taking a still image.
Oh, I love those. Those are awesome.
I think it's really cool, but it's very creepy if somebody's doing that, you know, a photo of your grandparents or something. And
it's not. That's really cool. I totally disagree. I love that stuff.
I think it's creepy. I think the technology is fantastic, but it is a little bit creepy. And it all just goes down to something I've been saying for years, which is you can no longer believe a damn thing on the internet. You really can't.
Well, I don't think you should have ever. But
True. But you have to even more and more so. Yeah, Gene is the guy wearing the turban, Ned, yes, in that video. Most likely, but we cannot confirm nor deny that. But for me to do the Stable Diffusion at home, I would need a few video cards, and the video cards are like $2,000 a piece, so I need to raise some funds.
That's right.
Need to raise them fast.
They ain't cheap, that's for sure.
No. I mean, and then you look at it, I was surprised, although I'm assuming they will get as far as all of these Stable Diffusion stuff, which is one of these image generators, pretty much needs the NVIDIA graphics cards to work well. And the Apple, they haven't caught up yet. Apple is not you would think that all of these M2 Pro and Max chips, so far, not really good for AI.
Well, they are good, but somebody needs to write some software. That's the problem is that the software is not there.
Right, it can do it, but you need the software to work with the hardware.
Yeah, and this is something I think I already mentioned a few weeks back, but I thought was pretty cool, is that both the Unreal Engine and the what's the other engine? God damn it.
The CryEngine, one of those?
No. It's not the CryEngine. It'll come to me. But the one that Kerbal uses, both that engine as well as the Unreal Engine, both the companies have said that they are bringing their engines natively to run on the M series of processors. So that is very cool. It means that not only are a lot more games going to come out for Mac, because then all it's going to be is just a compile option. Compile for PC, compile for Linux, compile for Mac.
That would be nice.
But to take full advantage of the CPU means that you may have games that run better on the Mac than they do on other platforms, because that CPU is fairly unique compared to Intel AMD CPUs that most of the PCs are running on. So I'm looking forward to it. Both companies just announced it like in the last 3 months probably. So we probably won't see anything until next year, but by next year we should start seeing some stuff coming out on the Mac, and I'm looking forward to seeing like just what kind of frame rates do we end up getting.
Yeah, for the stuff, people think it's amazing that you can do text to image. They're at text to video now. So
yeah.
And it's just even interesting watching some of these. There was one guy very smart to do this. The music in the thing, you see the little thing flashed, like made with whatever AI music generator. And it's like, yeah, everything's just there now. You need a music bed for your podcast or your video. You now could just go and create it. You don't need to find somebody. You don't need to pay them. I mean,
right. And then Unity is the other game engine that I was thinking.
Well, all of this needs to get caught up. So I was like, maybe I need to go to the Mac because I don't want to go to Windows 11. And it keeps telling me I should go to Windows 11.
Like every week it tells you, yeah.
It's like, can you just stop? I mean, whenever Windows 10, whenever they stop doing the security updates, that's when I'll have to go to Windows 11. And I think that's still a year or 2 or 3 away.
Well, I think I talked to your other co-host about that topic not too long ago.
Dude named Bem,
exactly. And because I think he's still running like Windows 7 or something.
Right, because he only goes to the command line. I don't think he's
whatever
ever
his preferred system
is. GUI. Yeah. He likes a black and white screen because, colorblind.
Is he? Oh, yeah, that makes sense, actually, now that you've said it.
Just wants to type.
It's good to have colorblind testers because then they're able to find things that only small percentage of the population will see.
Yes. Well, that's interesting when all these things have these graphical interfaces where something may just blend in or not, you have to, because everybody assumes, what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. And I thought, even as a kid, I remember having that thought like, well, how do I know that what everybody else sees as green is really green? Everybody's world could be totally different looking and you would never know.
But it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But it's a mind fuck, really, when you're like, oh, no, everybody sees something completely different.
Well, but also it doesn't matter. I mean, because
we're all in a simulation, Gene.
What you just exactly. First of all, you are if you're in a simulation, then everybody sees the same thing. First of all,
yes, Clip Custodian said Unity before you brought it up. I just was not watching the troll room.
Yeah. So he knows what
you should get in the troll room, Gene.
I wish I could. I was permabanned, and I'm not allowed in there ever.
Here, let me click here. I'll unclick here. Okay, you're unpermabanned now.
That's not how it works.
You're unpermabanned.
You don't know the half of it.
Yeah. Wait, is it you and dude named Bem? Was that the problem? Did he permaban you now?
No, you permabanned me.
Did I?
From talking to Adam, he said, I don't need people bitching about these permabans, so I'll just make it permanent.
Right. He's like, just stay with it, Gene. We're gonna keep you out from now on.
Yeah. I think you instigated it, and then he prolonged it.
Yeah, he's like, Gene, I mean, you know what you did. You know what you did. You can go through the process if you want to try to have it removed, but...
Oh, I did. It didn't work, so I'm permabanned.
It was the Podfather said, my decision's final. No, Gene. You cannot play with the rest of the children.
Well, I mean, he didn't phrase it like that. He says, you're clearly way too far advanced along for all these morons that are in there. That's why we call it troll room. And, it used to be called the idiot room. But,
well, yeah.
It is what it is. So I gave it a shot and it didn't get unbanned. So it is what it is.
It happens. It's technology, Gene. We're moving forward at rates that people just can't imagine.
You realize you're saying that about IRC, but yes.
No, I'm not. No, I was segueing into something else.
That's not the way it sounded.
IRC is
like, hey, man, it's technology, man.
Net
it's IRC.
Gene can't handle the troll room. Well, that's true. And the troll room can't handle Gene.
That's probably more appropriate.
It's been a long time since Gene's been handled. You know what I'm saying, Net?
Oh, whoa.
Wait, whoa. Do you?
And then, go ahead.
Do you watch any of the Gordon Ramsay shows?
I have occasionally, but not on purpose.
I find them to be interesting. It's at least entertaining.
He's a dick, man. He's a good chef, but he's such a dick. For no reason, he's a dick.
Right, but I like that. I like that in his personality. I find it entertaining in the same way as if it was me standing in front of him, then I wouldn't find it entertaining. But I think it is somewhat entertaining, and he does a show.
He looks like a cartoon character. He's got a giant head.
I know, which is why he's, I guess, made so much money and why he does TV so much. And the ones he did a show, and it started in the UK where he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for the next big UK food star." I think that was even the title. They did 2 years of that, and then they brought it to the United States. But it was funny because he has people like doing challenges, and he shows up at these locations, and he like jumps out of helicopters, and he comes in on a Harley.
It's
all very much done to be like pump up his ego, which I get. But it's hilarious, when he comes in a helicopter and then jumps out of the helicopter into the ocean and then like swims in to give them the challenge. I mean, I will applaud him for the creativity on this kind of stuff. But
my favorite was one episode I saw where they're talking to his kids, and the host said, do you like the way your dad cooks? And the kid's like, he's all right.
You're like, what? Good stuff.
Like, yep, that sounds about right.
Ned says,
I'm trying to...
as the son of a chef, a lot of chefs are huge dicks. Well, that is because it's that kind of a job, though. I think it's kind of like rock star. It doesn't matter how popular you are as a rock star, whether you got 5 fans?
No, it's
or 5 million?
It's definitely higher than the Rockstar. Rockstars are at a lower place in society than chefs.
Well, chefs will actually bring you something that you enjoy more than the music. If it's
and more importantly, they'll bring you something that's useful, unlike Rockstars.
Oh, music can be good for the soul, though. Gene, come on, don't be such a hater.
It's entertainment. We've had this conversation. Entertainment.
Music is entertainment.
First thing, yeah. Unlike food.
Food is also kind of entertainment. Because you could just eat a ration from.
I know what I'm good. I forgot to do this. I was going to do it last night before the show today, and I
order your food.
It out. No, I was going to take a photo and then post it to you because we talked about it. I finally got some Soylent Green.
Oh well, how much did you get? A 6-pack?
I got one bottle. I just got one bottle.
Well, that's
it's not cheap, so I just got one bottle.
You can't have too much, man. It's a lot of protein.
It is. They have clearly decided to deviate from the original tongue-in-cheek name branding. So when they first came out, it was an extremely generic bottle with very generic, just the word Soylent on it, and then nothing else was on the front except maybe like the volume of the bottle.
You're missing out on the whole concept of this product.
And there's a little bit of stuff on the back. And I thought, well, this is kind of neat because they're playing up the whole like, you're just drinking stuff. Right. It's good for you.
Right. It's Soylent.
But yeah. But now it's like clearly they're trying to not pretend to be related to the movie. And it's got all kinds of branding crap all on it. And it's mint flavored instead of green. You know, it's like, okay, all right, I get it. But it is Soylent Green.
Ooh, it's people. But
yeah, that's what they say. But it does say it's vegetarian. So
then how can it be people?
Well, how can it?
I don't know. Meatus boosting 5,000 sats says, "What's up, nerds?" Well, if you haven't been listening to the show, it's a lot of nerd talk.
Who you calling
today.
a nerd?
Yeah, he's a fun guy, and no nerd talk.
Why are you calling him a mushroom?
Exactly. It's his name. I don't know. He says he's a fun guy.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of the U.S. version of Gordon Ramsay's show was the one I kind of predicted because usually it doesn't matter who the person is or what the challenges are. They know the product that they think maybe can make him the most money.
Exactly.
Because these aren't chefs. These are people like the one girl was from the Chicago area that was Vietnamese, but has like a Vietnamese coffee company.
Yeah.
And they're looking for an investment. And it was $250,000, which I'm like, you're putting yourself through this for $250,000 in today's.
Totally not worth it.
I know Gene's like, I get $250,000. Can I put people through the stupid human tricks? That'd be great. But the guy that won was a product. And I want to know what you think of this because I still can't wrap my brain around it. This was a technology, and he was using it mainly at this point for energy drinks, but it comes in a cup that is devoid of water. They're calling it a 3D printed energy drink. And, the big selling point was, well, here's a stack of cups and that fits on, one little table. Here's the equivalent of the energy drink in cans. And of course, it takes up a ton of room and a ton of weight and all of this for shipping. So the concept is, well, I can do a lot of things. We can do mouthwash. We can do this. Anything that they can de-water, if you will.
That would be called dehydration.
Dehydration, right. But we're trying not to confuse the idiots, remember? You can't say big words like that. They won't get it. But that's this whole concept. And I'm like, the technology is great, but is it something that people will use? Because one, it's already useless in any area where you don't have widely accessible drinking water that's not going to kill you.
Okay, so you're telling me he basically has a drink powder, but it comes in the shape of a can?
It comes in they look like plastic cups, but they said these were actually biodegradable things. But the bottom,
so are the plastic ones.
So it's not even a powder, but the bottom is like a solid of some sort, gel, something like that you add the water. A minute later, you can drink the energy drink.
So it is literally just a a big red cup with a powder in the bottom.
Kind of, but it's a solid. So it's not a powder. But I'm thinking, wouldn't it be better?
But it's the same damn thing. I mean, you just compress the powder, it turns solid.
Which is, I'm like, this is what I do daily when I go on the bike. I grab one of those Nun tablets, NUUN.
Yeah, I don't trust that shit. I think they put way too much crap in there that just doesn't belong in the human body.
Well, that one seemed okay on what I had read, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what's in there. You know, it looks like you're getting a little potassium and sodium and that, but the concept is you're getting a Gatorade style drink in your own water bottle, adding your own water to this, which,
by the way,
similar.
Gatorade sells Gatorade powder.
Well, I understand that, but this is a similar thing. This is a hydrating drink, which is what Gatorade's being sold as, but it's giving you a little tablet rather than, you know, coming in I don't understand the cup part of it. Like, is somebody going to grab a cup and then just go out on their day and have that cup and add water in it at some point?
Yeah, just dip it in a lake.
Right. You know, it just seems like I don't understand.
Now, if you had like chlorine on the bottom of that cup, that might be useful.
Where you can take, water and be like, well, this you can add a little bit of iodine,
chlorine, yeah.
And that way you can take drinking water, and that way if the drinking water is a little bit off, you won't get sick. It'll kill the bacteria or whatever.
Exactly.
But this was whole like, well, we can take these products and, you know, it'll be great because you won't have to ship the water. And again, using the energy drink was just one example. He's like, we can do
that sounds
anything.
Lame.
That's what I thought. I'm like, I just don't think you're going to change people's behaviors from grabbing a can that already has the water in there that you just open it up and it's ready to go.
Exactly.
To, well, I'm going to take this little cup and I'm going to add water. And most people like things cold. So it's like, well, if your tap water is not cold enough, most people want to grab this shit out of the fridge.
Yeah.
So I just didn't understand. I'm like, am I missing something? Because I don't understand, even though I thought the technology was really cool. Like, hey, you know, I can take, and I don't even know with carbonated beverages or anything like that, but let's just say, you know, lemonade or something like that that's not carbonated, and I could just put a little water in, and a minute later,
you can do carbonated with the powder. That's not a problem.
You know, so I mean, I don't understand still why I would want that. I understand why the companies might, because the companies would be like, well, we don't have to ship water anymore, so we're going to save big time. If Coca-Cola could sell their drinks without water, they'd be all in on that.
They do sell their drinks without water.
What do they have? Like a
syrup. They sell syrup. Every restaurant you go into, but
you can't just
place.
You can't just go buy that at the store.
You can. You go to Costco, you could buy a gallon of Coke syrup.
Not Coca-Cola. No, you cannot. I mean, they have, I know the Soda Stream people are out there and some of these things exist.
No, you can buy Coke, you can buy Pepsi, you can buy,
not the same thing as just like, okay, it's a, you just put a little water into the cup and it's done. Or I don't even care about the cup. You can't have like a little tablet that you just drop in and it gives
you buy large volumes of it. But yeah, you absolutely buy Coke syrup.
But it's like, why aren't they doing that then? Because people don't want it.
What do you mean they want it? Who's
Coca-Cola? I mean, if they're spending a lot of money, well, why are they still shipping the stuff with the water in it? Because you can just go, hey, you know what?
Convenience, because people don't like mixing shit. They want stuff that's already pre-mixed.
And that is what I kept coming down to. It's the convenience. People are not going to change their behavior no matter how cool it is.
It's $97 for a 2.5 gallon bag of Coke syrup.
Well, that's still in a syrup. I understand that's a little different. Now, if you could get that into a solid, that would be interesting.
That's called spilled and dried syrup.
Well, and then if you could rehydrate, that would be a great business.
Takes a little while.
But that would be great.
I mean, it's syrup because that way it mixes very quickly and it tastes consistently. But you could certainly dry out the syrup and totally dehydrate it.
And that's the whole thing with this just seemed to me to be so much gobbledygook. Is one, I'm not a scientist, but I think I understand a lot of this stuff better than most. And when the whole push was, we're 3D printing drinks. Like, well, no, you're not. You're not 3D.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah, doesn't it? And it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But Mita says it's called Pop Rocks. Oh, I loved Pop Rocks back in the day. Did you have Pop Rocks?
Those were cool.
You know, you put them in your mouth and like, it's like, whoa. Mm-hmm. And then somebody, allegedly the what you call
crack your teeth.
Well, yeah. One, it could crack your teeth, but the conspiracy theories were, if you swallowed the Pop Rocks and then
Nothing
drank
happens.
a Coke, your stomach explodes.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I know, but I mean, that was as kids, you were like, wow, really? Because we didn't have the fucking internet back then to go.
If you swallowed like a whole stick of Mentos and then poured Coke in there, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, that could be bad. But we didn't have ChatGPT to go ask questions to when we were kids.
No, we just had like neighbor kids to tell them to do stuff.
Right. Go put your tongue on that frozen pole.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Minnesotans would do. I tell you, hey.
Hell yeah.
Go out in the hockey pond. Shoot the biscuit.
Yeah, the
into
number
the
of times that like my face froze to the ice is
were people slamming you on the ice a lot? Is that the
well, it's if you're the goalie, you tend to put your face a lot closer to the ice.
See, that was going to be my guess. As you playing hockey as a young lad growing up
hockey
in Minnesota, I would have guessed goalie or the bruiser, the defenseman, the guy that liked to get into fights.
Yep. Yeah, fights were good. I got into a lot of fights.
That's hard to believe. Did they usually start as a verbal altercation by any chance? Where the other guy just couldn't handle it anymore?
I wouldn't know anything about
that. Nothing at all. No, of course not.
No,
of course not. It's not all like you see on YouTube.
It was never my fault.
Exactly. No, of course. Nobody would believe that anything was your fault.
No, and this is true story. The reason I stopped playing hockey was my mom got tired of me coming home with a bloody nose.
Really?
She's like, "You're done. You're not doing this anymore."
But I enjoy
I'm like,
it.
it's part of the game. It's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes, there's a reason why when you fight they only go sit down for 2 minutes and come back.
Exactly.
That's it. Or if it's really a bad fight, 5 minutes. Right? If you got blood, you got 5 minutes. Because that's really the way to teach kids right and wrong was, okay, go sit down for 5 minutes, then come right back in. It's not all like it is on YouTube. I love the videos on YouTube when hockey players are mic'd up. And there was one, I don't remember which one. I could probably find it. That would be a really, that would be something for the clip custodian, see how good he is. I remember seeing one, and I don't remember how old the video was, so I can't really tell you when it was from, but it was right before a face-off. The two players get next to each other, and the one guy's like, how you doing? Good. And he's like, you want to go? Yeah. Okay. Good luck to you. And then the whistle blows and they fight. But it was like, good luck to you. And it wasn't said like, I'm going to beat your ass. Good luck to you. It was a very polite, like, well, Gene, good luck to you. Let's go. Well, you want to fight? Okay, let's do it. It's like, this was just part of their job. Like this is what we do we have to do the fighting thing. And I wish you luck, but that's not like it was in the youth hockey, I'm guessing.
No, it was exactly how it
was. Like, Gene's like, I'm going to kick your ass. Very polite. It's the way we like to imagine it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other memory I have of that is like falling on my back on ice.
Ouch.
And having the wind completely knocked out of me, where you can't breathe.
Right.
You ever have that experience?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not often, but a few times.
So yeah, it's a lot easier to get into that situation when you're on skates. And if somebody clotheslines you.
Right. And then if it's at the time where somebody wants to kick your ass, it's a really good time when you're already on the ground, not breathing.
You're like,
although maybe a good, chop to your windpipe would get the breath coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Hockey is not for the faint of heart. Although
it's a good sport though. I like hockey. Hockey and biathlon. Those were good sports.
Those are the two you participated in or the ones you like to watch?
Well, both. I mean, these are ones that when I was a kid, participated in, and I like to watch.
I may have to go back into the hockey mode. Net played hockey, of course, Detroit. He's a Red Wings fan, no doubt.
There you go.
But the Blackhawks got the number 1 pick, the guy that's supposed to be like the next Gretzky. So he may be fun to watch. Another one of these like 18-year-old kids that they're putting the weight of the world on, like, well, you're going to be the next Gretzky. It's like, that is so horrible to do to a kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No pressure whatsoever. NHL mic'd up fight. So I wonder if that was in here. The media's coming through with that. Yeah. Just look that up on the YouTubes. They're good stuff.
Uh-huh.
I would watch during the show, but that would probably not be good content.
Did you watch the Olympics in 80?
I did, because my dad and my sister went.
Oh, did they went to Lake Placid?
They did. My sister was big into ice, not ice dancing,
skating?
The ice skating. Yes, the figure skating.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they went for that. And
nice. I
do have a ticket stub sitting right here in this room from
of course you do.
USSR game.
Probably worth $1,000.
Yeah, they are. It is one of the holy grails of ticket stubs. It's interesting because they're actually more of unused ones around because so many people did not go to that game.
Really?
It was thought it was the United States was going to get its ass kicked. There was no interest.
Right. Yeah.
So it was just kind of like they total surprise. The place at the opening was almost empty. Now, by the end, the place started filling up, and a lot of these tickets weren't used. So I'm not sure how. I'm sure the doors just kind of got open, and people were hearing like, "Oh my God, the United States are going to beat the Russians! Those horrible Ruskies!" The miracle on ice.
It would be very, very surprising.
Yes,
because the Russians won the previous decade.
Yes, and they were by far. At the time, this was before, for anybody that's been watching the Olympics more recently, where they use professional players. I don't know, does hockey still do that? Because basketball did, where they went, and that was like, okay, fuck, that's the Olympic basketball became a joke the minute the United States could put Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson on the. It's like, oh my.
But you know what? I think that was a silly rule. The whole amateur athletes is bullshit, because all it meant was people who weren't making much money off their athletics, but these people were literally dedicated. Anyone that's in the Olympics has dedicated their entire life to that sport.
And, I don't care what country poverty up at that point because you couldn't make money.
And it's like, hold up. So what we're saying is anyone that's dedicated their life to the sport can be in as long as they don't make money off of it. That's retarded.
And it was beyond that, because now, like that gymnast Olivia Dunn, who is making millions on her social media, I think that would have also disqualified her. Yeah. Wherever she's making the money, she's making a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, why? I mean, again,
nude gymnastics is very big in Japan.
I did not know. Nude or new?
Nude.
Okay, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
And Gene's like, well, I understand why. Unless it's sumo wrestlers doing the gymnastics.
Well, sumo wrestlers are basically nude.
Is that why you enjoy sumo?
They have a inner tube tied around them, but they're basically naked.
Yeah, so good stuff. Want to get all in on that?
Really?
No.
Does that sound exciting to you?
No.
You all excited?
Is this something I can interest you in? How much would you need to get into this sumo wrestler
today? Would you like to know more?
Yes. Just dial 1-888.
I watched that movie again. I watched Starship Troopers. What is it called?
That is a movie. I don't know if that's the one you watched.
Yeah. That's the one I watched. Yeah, it's such a great movie, man. It is so underrated. It's got the hokey bits in it, but just the right amount of hokiness in that movie, because the underlying message is just so good.
Well, and I like movies that have a little bit of a comedic edge. I don't like anything that's too straightforward, dark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to have a little comic edge, especially when you're doing the sci-fi thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Star Wars, I think, again, I'm probably just glorifying it because that was the movie for our childhood, because I was 7 when Star Wars came out.
Right.
I remember seeing that. If I remember correctly, I saw Star Wars or maybe it was Rocky. We saw one of those in French Lick, Indiana, as a child, home of Larry Bird.
Yeah,
who was on those Olympic basketball teams. That dream team. I think we talked about it. That the jerseys with the mailman, Karl Malone, his wife. picked them all up. I mean, I guess they were just all thrown on the floor. I don't know what was going to happen to those jerseys. So he saved them. He had them up in his auto dealer. They were all just auctioned off and went, especially the Jordan, for millions.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Millions of dollars.
Which I don't understand that either. I mean, like, what's the attraction in owning a piece of somebody else's clothing?
It is putting it to a particular
bath water.
Well, right. Well, the bathwater you've bought it from. How many OnlyFans girls you have bathwater from?
I've never bought any bathwater. That's the stupidest thing in the world.
You've got a whole display in the garage, I think, with all. Of course, in Austin, it would quickly dry out. So
yeah,
you would have to be hermetically sealed.
That is just so stupid.
But that's one of the big things in these sports collectibles now when it comes to uniforms, is trying to photo match, because you could sit there and look at a uniform and the uniform, say Michael Jordan wore for years with the Bulls. They didn't change much from year to year. And to be able to say, well, he wore this uniform on this day when he did this thing, that's a big deal now. If there's a way to prove that the particular uniform was worn and it was for an event that was, that people...
It's just lame, man. I don't understand it. Like, I understand some souvenirs, like if you catch a baseball,
right, which I did once.
I've never managed to be in that position, but if you do that, that's cool. Not because that was a ball from that game, but because that was a ball from that game that you caught.
Right. It's a memory for you.
It's a memory that you're a part of.
Right.
You're not buying a fucking ticket stub or a shirt that somebody wore that you've never met and you had nothing to do with.
Oh, and there is a difference. When we were in Cleveland, I think it was, back when I was 16 or so, my cousin Randy came with us.
Randy, sure.
Good old Randy. And we were sitting down by the White Sox dugout. And as Carlton Fisk was walking off the field, he gave Randy the bat that he was using. It's like, now
that's kind of cool.
That is a memory. Because how often does that happen? Never.
Right. Yeah.
Never. So, but you're right. That is a completely different thing than I'm going to go buy a game used Carlton Fisk bat, which I can.
Yeah.
But it's devoid of that memory. Now, it's because that people put a monetary value on it, where if you have Michael Jordan's, sneakers or jerseys or whatever, then it's big money. But yeah, why is it big money? That is one for the ages. I guess people feel the need to collect stuff, and I made no bones about the fact that I like listening to Taylor Swift's music. I don't understand people spending thousands of dollars on the limited edition vinyl.
No,
I don't get it.
Unless you're doing it purely to resell later.
Right. Where it's like, which I do. That's why I buy them at face value.
Like, one of the things that I had, and I say had because I haven't seen it in probably over a decade, so I'm going to assume it's lost, is I had a towel that was signed by Douglas Adams.
Oh, thanks for all the fish.
Yeah. And so I had him autograph that in 1989. And, I thought it was kind of neat. But when he autographed, said, you're the first person ever to bring a towel.
That seems nearly impossible.
I know. That's what I thought. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Was he like,
really?
Was he like bullshitting you? Like, I see these like 14 of these every day.
No. But I think a lot of the people in line to get autographs were looking at me very jealously. You do. They hadn't thought to bring a towel,
and you do have to have the right kind of towel, because they're not overall. If it's too fluffy, it's not going to be easy to take a marker and read the signature.
It was definitely not the towel that was in the book that I brought. I brought a tennis towel.
Well, that would be better. It's nice.
It's small. That's the main reason. It's not going to be useful.
Not too fuzzy. Not too thick.
No, it's not too fuzzy or thick, but it is. And it had McEnroe on it. But other than that, it was perfect.
Douglas Adams was a genius.
He was a great writer. And it's very sad that he died young in life. More books would have been forthcoming.
Well, now it's the AI could try to recreate that style, but it would never work.
Totally could. No, I think it could totally do
You think it would? Do you think his style is so slapstick that maybe
No, it's not slapstick. I think it's different enough that an AI actually could do it. There's not a whole lot of subtlety.
I still have somewhere, it may even be sealed, a video game.
Oh yeah, the text-based
of that was Starship Titanic, right? That was that he came out with. There was a video. There was a video game called Starship Titanic, I believe.
I know there was an actual Hitchhiker's video game.
Really, I don't think I had that one.
Yeah,
got the book.
He was very early into computers, and he had purchased the first Macintosh in the UK.
Really?
Like he bought it in the US and then brought it back before they were for sale in the UK.
And they're like, what is this? What is this crazy thing?
He wrote some of his books. Like I think he wrote the Dirk Gently series on his Mac.
The Starship Titanic is an adventure game developed by the Digital Village, published by Simon & Schuster Interactive, released in April of 1998 for Microsoft Windows in March 1999 for the Apple Macintosh.
I don't know if he had anything to do with it.
Let's see here. Written and designed by Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy creator Douglas Adams.
No, that might have been it then.
Took 2 years to develop.
Yeah.
In order to achieve Adams' goal of being able to converse with characters in the game, his company developed a language processor.
He created AI.
To interpret players' input and give an appropriate response, and recorded over 16 hours of character dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to play this shit.
No, wait a minute. Dialogue. So this thing actually talks to you? It's not text-based?
I guess, if it says there were 16 hours of
the
character
Hitchhiker's
dialogue.
Guide was definitely text-based.
Yeah, this was more current. You figured 99. I mean, it was not.
Yeah, that's like 15 years later.
Yeah. I mean, I remember those games. One of my favorite games still goes back to the Apple II era when Castle Wolfenstein, or Steen, however you like to say it, was still 2D.
Oh, yeah.
That I loved. I don't like the first-person shooters because they fucking make me nauseous.
That's because you have no eyeballs.
I know. Even before, when I had 2 eyeballs, the motion on that, it's very weird. I've never been able to play a game.
Have you ever tried 3D, like back when you had eyes that could work?
Yeah, but not playing a game. So, I mean,
Wow. Because I had my first experience with that was in, I want to say 1994. I had 3D glasses. And it was wild because there was a handful of games that worked with 3D.
But see, back in 1994, I was doing multiple websites for Playboy Playmates, and it just didn't have time for video games.
Well, joke's on you. I was ahead of the curve.
Oh, yeah, you were.
So I never got any kind of Vertigo or anything else, but a number of friends that I showed this to and let them try it did not like the being in the 3D immersive world. There was a video game where you flew in a little spaceship. Surprise, surprise.
Right. That's where you got hooked.
I mean, I've been playing spaceships games since I was born, I think. But this was really cool because it was the first game that I ever played that had all 6 directions of movement. So it had all 6. What do you call them?
What do you mean directions of movement? That you can go up, down,
left, right, front, back.
Yeah,
that. So it was different from everything else because we were still mostly in a 2D. Even if it was 3D, it was still kind of 2D-ish world back then. And this thing let you go anywhere in any direction. Since it was space, there was no bottom or top. So you could, what was below you could become in front of you or to the side of you, and you could spin around and fly. And definitely that was the game that kind of made people go a little woozy. But I don't know. It was cool. It was, I'm pretty sure you had to have a Voodoo card in order to play this.
Maybe. And there's a link. You can still play Starship Titanic
online.
Yeah. Looks like it.
$6.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's like Okay, that's not what I was thinking. I thought it was like a text-based game. This looks like an actual video game.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, I can do driving games because I did the NASCAR. It doesn't matter if you're using the view in the car, out of the car, all that. Had the wheel, the whole big, not a full extra as people have now, the simulation setups. Didn't have one of those. You just had the wheel where you had to strap it onto the desk and hope it didn't pull the whole desk apart when you jacked hard on that wheel.
Oh, totally, dude. I know. That's you can't have your monitor be attached to the desk if you're playing a video game like that.
I know. It's not good. Not good at all. But for those, I didn't have a problem with. So I liked playing those games back in the day. The driving games, no problem. But the minute I tried to play something like Grand Theft Auto, which I thought would be a lot of fun, just get nauseous. Can't do it. And I don't know. People were like, well, if you just maybe do it for like an hour or two, and then maybe you'll chop your body into accepting it or whatnot. But it was so bad that it's not like the nauseousness goes away either the second you stop playing the game. It lasts for like a half hour or hour. So it's not.
I think you needed to play for 100 hours to get rid of that.
Probably just be like, tell your body, because there's something that some people have it, some don't, from the research that I remember, which is your eyes are seeing movement. Yeah. So your eyes telling you that your body is moving and your inner ear is going, nope.
Yeah.
And those two things.
You would really hate the stuff I play with. I have a Tobii eye tracker here.
Interesting.
And so in a number of games that I play, including the space ones, it measures two things. It measures what you're looking at, and it measures your head position, and those are independent of each other. But if I glance to the left of my computer monitor, then the game changes the focus of what the character is looking like to the left.
That's weird.
So, for example, if I'm doing American Truck Sim, I'm driving around Texas, as I was a few days ago, all over Texas doing delivery runs. All I need to do to look around is to look around.
That is next level stuff.
It's been around for a long time. It's just it's getting better. I don't like 3D glasses because I don't want a contraption strapped to my head.
Yeah, that's weird.
The irony in this is that the 3D glasses that I had in 1993, maybe 94, they were literally the same weight as sunglasses because they were LCD shutters.
Right. That one on, one off.
Yeah, one on, one off. So the way it used to work with CRT monitors is it would alternate frames for your left eye and then your right eye, and then your left eye and then your right eye. And then the shutters in the glasses were timed with the monitor to flip-flop each frame. So if you're playing at 60 frames per second, what you're getting is 30 frames per second effectively in your eyeballs, but in stereo.
How many people listening do you think are going, what's a CRT monitor?
I know, right? Well, probably nobody, because the audience for this show is our age.
Oh, we're all old. No, yeah. I think there are some youngins. Well, younger than us. Which isn't saying much.
Name one.
No Agenda Millennial.
You think he's younger than us?
Yeah, I think he's actually in his 30s. So I think we go down to
are hitting 40 now.
No, we need just reach out to us here on Unrelenting or on No Agenda Social or in the Troll Room.
Make a donation that is in the form of your age in the number of days old you are.
The number of days. I don't know if I want that. Maybe we need a better mathematical formula. Like take your age. Nobody's going to do. They'd have to break it down. But like how
take your age and multiply it by 365. It's not hard math.
Right. Well, take your age and then multiply that by a factor of at least 4.
For fuck's sake.
You got to make it. Yeah. CRT monitors did help keep the room warm in the winter, Billy Bones.
Yeah. So do plasmas, guys.
Well, the LCD, well, even the
LCDs, yeah, they still keep the room warm. Not as much as CRTs, but they still are chugging away with the electricity there.
The Drobo does, because I have 5 drives in it that are not cool drives. So that just kind of throws off a bunch of heat here too.
Well, and the video card absolutely does. That thing alone chews up over 200 watt.
I need one of them $2,000 video cards so I can make artwork.
Yeah, artwork, which you're not allowed to use for no agenda.
Well, no. They JCD is he is not really caring. He said as long as the artwork's good, he doesn't care. I know Adam still doesn't like it, but there may be a switching of the and again, it just has to be good enough so they don't know it's AI. When you say I don't like AI artwork, that means I don't like something that looks very specifically like it was created by an AI. It doesn't mean that you don't like, I mean, this stuff is getting so much better so quickly that there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. And I have no idea why, somebody would ever, and the last one that I won, I took a pack of Duracell batteries and I removed the Duracell branding and changed it to no agenda.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, man, I wonder if he did that with AI.
No, well, that's still hard to do. AI and text is still not that friendly with each other, but it'll get there to where you can just type in, battery pack style.
Google has great AI text.
What does?
Google.
I have not played with the Google AI. But when you can get to that point where you can just go into an AI and adding the text is child's play. It's, well, I need a clean, unbranded package of batteries. Well, you can pretty easily. I didn't do that in this case because I just grabbed a nice Duracell, which JCD hates Duracell. So that almost kept that art from being winning, even though I took Duracell off and changed it to no agenda. But I digress. Going into an AI art generator and being like pack of batteries, non-branded. Well, then you can put whatever brand on. But just imagine when you get to that point where you could be like, well, give me a package of 1,000 batteries, but they all have this logo on it. Well, that's way quicker to do than having to do it by hand, obviously. And this is where all of I can only imagine how many people on Fiverr are just selling, that these artists.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are going to be the first folks to do that.
When if like, well, yeah, you're coming out with a new book, you need a book cover. You see, well, yeah, I'll do you 5 generations of 5 iterations, but that'll cost you $50. They're just going, okay, done. For people that don't understand how this stuff works. Oh, you need music for a project? Okay, tell me what you'd like. And they take the exact description the asshole gives them, goes into an AI music generator, types that description and cuts and pastes most likely. And then what's spit out like, hey, do you like this? Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, great. We're done.
Did you know that the current version of Microsoft Edge, the browser, can actually do AI artwork generation built in?
No. In what part?
It's built into the browser.
Well,
it's literally part of the browser now.
Where do you go in the browser? How do you get it to do the art?
It's the right side panel.
In the settings?
No, it's the right side panel will do.
Oh, there is. Okay, I see my Bing thing in the top. Then I see notifications, account control.
Yeah, it's called Image Creator.
Shopping. Outlook.
You gotta go to the sidebar and then go to Image Creator. Are you using it, that product?
I do have Edge, so I'm looking at Edge.
Okay. All right.
I don't see is there an icon for this or something? I see customize. How do I get it to show? It doesn't seem like. Do you have
the current version?
Of course. I'm always up to date, baby.
I mean, I'm not so sure you are.
I'm always up to date.
Because you don't sound like you got that stuff on the right side there in that little thing on the right.
Well, I've got a little sidebar, and it's got a little. Let's see here. Let me move this so I can see a little better here.
Okay.
I've got I got the Bing on the top. Is it in the Bing? Because then I've got a bell. Then I've got a magnifying glass. Then I've got a tag for shopping. Then I've got some little basket for something or other. tools, it says. Is it in tools? Then we got games.
You want to click on the little plus thing
at the bottom.
Yeah.
For customize.
Yep. That's the one.
Gotcha. Let's see. Then we got WhatsApp, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, Messenger, more. Hulu. Do we want to show more? We got Twitter, eBay, Yahoo, Walmart.
Yeah.
Turn something on here. There's Designer? Is that it? A preview?
Let's see, what's it called? It's called Image Generator.
Now it just says Designer here, but let's see here.
Image Creator, sorry. You have to, so when you click on the little plus in your list of apps, it should say Image Creator.
Well, I don't have that, but way at the bottom, I have a slider that you can turn things on and off.
I'll send you a link.
Let's see here. Yeah, show me a photo of that would be good.
All right, there's a photo right there.
Let's see the on and off thing here.
Look for Image Creator.
Image Creator. You know, it doesn't say that on mine. It just says Designer.
That's why I asked if you had the latest version. It updated yesterday.
Well, I usually have them updated. How does it update? Shouldn't it just do this automatically? Come on, Microsoft.
Well, it does. Have you rebooted lately?
Why would I reboot? You don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What does rebooting have to do with updating a program?
Okay. Well, whatever.
Where does it even tell me what version? It used to be so easy to find like the about. You want
a boot?
Do you want a boot? Yes. It was Canadian for about. Do you want the about?
Right.
Yes.
So let's do an image of batteries without
exploding
any branding. And let's see what it'll do.
About Microsoft Edge. Okay, let's see what I'm on.
Creating.
I am on version.
Free.
I'm on version, let's see here, 116.0.1938.54. And it says that I am up to date.
Where do you see the version number?
When I went into a boot.
Where is the boot?
Oh, NetNet says you have to sign into Edge. Wait, what do you mean sign in?
Oh, you're not
Edge?
signed in, loser.
Sign in? What do you mean sign in?
How do you not? You got to sign into Edge with your Microsoft 365 subscription.
Wait, I don't have a Microsoft account. Oh, thank you, NetNet. This is insanity.
What are you,
insanity.
Your co-host or what?
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't sign up for things.
I don't have a Microsoft account.
But there is a generate image. So, okay, I can see this. Let's see. So we have guy with beard playing video games. It'll probably give me something good for that. Oh, yeah. And then it's like, sign in. No, I'm not going to sign in with my email, phone, or Skype.
Yeah, just give me your phone. That's all they want. Just your phone.
You're right. They want to track you. It's not a big deal. They want to track every last bit of it, which was what Instagram was trying to do. I had a throwaway account, and it was like, because there was no phone number, because I don't tie phone numbers to these things. And it was like, you have to verify a phone number. So I'm like, geez. So I went through.
I think your guy with beard is ready.
Oh, there you go. It looks just like you. Except add out of shape guy with
35 beard. Years ago, maybe.
Right. That's a young Sir Gene right there. But I got the, message that I needed a phone number. So I did a quick search, like, free SMS that could be used with Instagram. And unbelievably, one of those free things where you just, they show you on the web what's coming through to those phone numbers. I used that, and Instagram was like, okay. And then it popped up, you need to send us a selfie with this written on it.
Yeah, and the driver's license in your left hand.
Right.
And your signature and your mother's maiden name in your right hand.
It was just a selfie with the account name, your first name, and like a 6-digit number that they gave.
It's funny. I had to do a proof of identity thing recently. on one of those
sex offender registries,
something like that. And yeah, it was a government website, and
that's the worst.
It just would not work. Like, it didn't like my stuff, because you had to take a photo of your driver's license and all kinds of other stuff. And the alternative, like, if it's not working, is you have to do a conference call and then prove who you are.
Right.
So I ended up having to do that, but their software was screwing up. Everything was sideways. It was just a crazy ass. It's like, it was a crappy experience.
Well, for people that are curious, I decided to create an image in a AI holding up a piece of paper. Now, the handwriting part is the only hard part about this, because you can't easily do that in an AI. And it's very hard to do that with a font, because anybody looking closely could see then that every letter is going to be the same.
Right.
So I wrote what they wanted on a piece of paper. I took a photograph of that. I superimposed it on the AI image of the person holding up the piece of paper, and they bought it. I was like, that's fantastic. Like, what great technology you think you have to be like, we're going to prove you're a real person. No, you're not. You're not going to prove who I am.
Well, the AI has a harder time doing that.
Well, it took days, so it's also interesting. I don't know if a real person had to look at it, but it becomes very, like, what are you going to, and I guess you could, but I thought this would be a great test, because everybody's like, no, man, there's tools. People can know if it's an AI-generated image. They'll know. They fucking will not.
They do.
They will not always.
No, there's some really great AI tools to find the AI.
Right, and you can fool them, as I found out, by taking your text and running it through Grammarly or Pro Writing Aid, and just going with every suggestion they give you. It takes your, hey, this is 90% AI, no doubt. We're 90% sure it's AI, to, oh, it's 4% sure it's AI. Like, so you take the AI, you convert it with another AI, and then the third AI that's trying to figure out if it's AI is like, well, I don't know. It's great. You just keep double dipping or triple dipping, whatever it may be in this case.
Might as well.
The technology is a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah.
Because here's the way I see this going.
How do you see it going?
Movies and things in the future, like, okay, you're like, well, I really like Star Wars, but, Carrie Fisher just isn't hot enough for me, which she was.
Yeah.
But at the, back, especially in the, Jabba scene.
Oh my God. You mean the bikini?
Yeah. So that was that wasn't Return of the Jedi. That was Empire Strikes Back, right? Yeah, I believe so.
No, that was Return of the Jedi.
Was it Jedi?
Yeah. That was the pleasure
Jabba's
thingy.
Pleasure Palace. So that for me would have been when I was 13. It was like, yeah, Princess Leia, man.
I'm gonna lay her.
Hey. Now, just assume though that you weren't into the whole Carrie Fisher look. You can now go in and be like, well, you type
put a guy in there instead. Yeah, I guess.
No. Okay, some people might want that, but I'm thinking you can have Margot Robbie or your favorite Scarlett Johansson, and then boom, you can.
Scarlett Johansson does not have the body for that.
You can. Well, AI don't care what her body looks like. You're just swapping heads. There's a great show title, just swapping heads.
Swapping heads. There you go. That sounds not gay at all, does it?
Maybe a little, but is it wrong?
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little. Is that wrong?
I mean, they've been doing that in porn forever, though. Like, you can get celebrity porn of anybody.
Well, right, because you can take any video and change the face on it.
Yeah.
But this is where you're going, where the technology will be there for full-length movies, just to be like, take this actor out, put this one in.
But this is where I've been saying for a while, and I really hope is where we end up, is just getting rid of actors. I don't want actors. We don't need them. We don't need people in the profession of entertainment.
What about musicians?
Same thing.
Now, they may need to write the music, but then they don't have to perform it.
AI can write much better music.
You think AI can write a soulful song? That I'm not sure
Ray
yet.
Kurzweil demonstrated that 30 years ago.
I don't buy it.
Well,
show me an AI-created song that can get your eyes moist or your crotch. Either one.
Sure. There's one right now that's very popular about the rich man north of Richmond.
That guy was real.
That guy's real? Yeah, you think?
Yeah, the redhead guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ginger boy.
Real, all right. Mm-hmm.
I saw a video of 420-something.
Created by the AI.
420-something-year-old black dudes doing a reaction video on that. Yeah,
I posted like a bunch of those 20 black dudes doing reaction videos.
I didn't see that. Am I following you?
Probably not.
I might have you muted. That may be why.
Oh.
Like Gene posts way too much.
Oh, well, that's an easy fix. Let me ban you. Hang on.
Okay, yeah, permaban. Can you block me from seeing your Instagram account or your whatever you
social.
got? It could be your...
you mean my No Agenda social account?
Right. No, is that where you post? I thought it was on Twitter or X or Twitter X.
I post like twice a day on Twitter, and I post like twice an hour on No Agenda Social.
Well, I'll start looking for the No Agenda Social ones, and I've been missing them.
No, you're probably not even following me yet, so let me unfollow you real quick.
I'm pretty sure I am.
Well, how do you miss like 30 posts a day?
I don't really look at No Agenda Social enough.
Oh my God.
Because it's all memes, man. It's all memes. I still, that's another thing I will never understand is memes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get memes. I mean, I understand what they're supposed to be.
I'm following you. I'm no longer following you.
Oh, dude.
Perfect.
No, I can't take that. I need everybody to follow me on No Agenda Social.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have more.
Okay, Darren wants fewer people following him because he has no time. So let's just go ahead and make his
more. I need more.
Here.
Yeah, more. That's what I need.
I think you got enough.
I need more. What do I have now? Do I have more than you?
Oh, you've always had more than me.
No. Well, there's a cold opener.
Well, you got 3.1 million.
Woo! Well, that's pretty good.
And let's see, what do I have? I've got 2.1.
That's pretty good. Well, you don't even have your surname in there.
Sir Gene?
Yeah, you're just Jinin.
I'm Sir Gene. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's just G-E-N-E-N, Jinin. I mean,
the actual login name. Well, that's yes.
Yeah.
That's because when I joined, there was nobody else on, and I was like, "This is lame."
Well, which is nice.
No, and it's true. Like Adam invited me right after whoever's running it set it up. It's like, "Oh, you should join this thing." I'm like, okay." And I get in, and it's literally like 5 people in here. I'm like, okay, well, I'll never log in here. And then a year later, I log in, and there's like 1,000 people. And then I have asked about changing that, and the response was, yeah, all you got to do is just create a new account. And I'm not.
There's no way to change the username? That's crazy.
Of course there is. It's a volunteer effort.
Yeah.
And he is busy.
Yeah.
And I forget his name.
Aaron
that actually runs this thing.
I can still see your posts. Yeah, you've got a lot of posts. These are good
All
stuff.
you got to do is just go into the database and change one field. But I get it. He's busy.
Let's see. Who is you? Have a 2-hour interview with Fair and Balanced. Who's that?
That was a RT reporter.
Oh, wait, from Russia Today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. How come
that was like months and months ago?
That's like the last thing I see on your here. It's like March. Why is that the last? Oh, it's pinned. That's why.
It's pinned. I need to unpin it.
Yeah, unpin that because I'm like, wait, what's new? This isn't new.
Yeah, let me unpin that. Hold on.
But then there's another pin. You can do more than one pin post because then the next one's in December.
Yeah, you could do as many as you want.
You're like begging people for subs. That's not good.
No, it is good because I had restarted my Twitter, so I needed subs.
No, that was for your YouTube gaming channel.
Oh, yeah. Well, that I always need more subs for.
I didn't
in lieu of money.
You have a
I'm
YouTube
trading
gaming
that for
channel?
money.
I just clicked on that, and then it's like, do you want to leave YouTube? Why? I clicked on the Gene, go to my YouTube channel, and it was like, do you want to leave YouTube?
One of CSB's cartoons pinned, I think, here too.
Yeah, but there was a good one. He likes the stuff, but wait, there's a YouTube redirect. Well, your YouTube redirect doesn't work because it just takes me to a page that says, are you sure you want to leave YouTube?
Oh, well, that's fine. Let me unpin all of these. Unpin.
Oh, confirm channel subscription. Okay, let me subscribe here.
Unpin. Oh, there you go.
There you go. I'm subscribed now.
I don't actually post anything on there. I just want more subs.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Well, that's why it's hard to get subs when you don't post anything.
You've got 214 subscribers.
That's the wrong channel. God damn it.
You don't even have the right link.
No, my other channel's got 900 subs.
Oh, well, my channel's only got 567. This is vital information. Used to be Darren O'Neill reviews, but now the review game sucks. So I'd like to change that too. But I digress, because it's not really product reviews. I guess I should redo the headline and everything else there. We're such great marketing.
Somebody's complimenting me, saying I don't look a day over 335.
Yeah. I mean, did you unfollow me? That's rude.
I told you, because you're bitching about me having too many posts.
But that doesn't, I can still.
You muted me.
I'm still following you.
But you muted me.
I don't mute anybody.
No, you said you did.
Do you not understand this concept of this show yet?
Right, I'll put you in a 1 month timeout.
Oh, okay. Well, make sure you set a timer.
Yeah. CSB, set a timer, please.
I mean, you realize I can still see your post unless you block me.
I did block you.
You did?
Yeah.
It doesn't say blocked.
And you probably have to refresh the browser first.
Oh, well, I have to reboot the whole thing. That'll make more sense. Let me unplug the computer.
Let me block all my co-hosts while I'm at it here. Let's see.
Hey, it makes
fuck you, and fuck you.
It makes the whole day go by a lot faster. A lot less things to worry about.
All right. So CSB sent some money. It looks like $1. Yes, I like that. It's actually showing how much it was.
And we
$1
appreciate
to each of us. Yeah.
That was the whole show. We did. No, we don't need a donation segment. We did it throughout the show as the boostergrams came in. We appreciate the people that show up and listen to this show live. It is a whole lot of fun. It's the Seinfeld of podcasting. But if you want to help support the show, unrelenting.show, go subscribe. Wherever you get your subscriptions from, Apple Podcast, Podverse, whatever. If they let you leave a review the show.
The reviews are
Tell them it's
very
good.
needed. Because there's no way we're going to get people outside of No Agenda Social without reviews.
So tell people the show's good. That's what you want to do.
Yeah. Nobody cares if you're telling the truth.
They'll totally enjoy it. That's all you need to do. And if you can, support the show financially so I can buy some LED covers and those kind of things. Or that $2,000 video card that by now I thought Gene would have sent me one or two of those. You've sent all of your other co-hosts like extravagant gifts, but me,
that's true.
No,
you're right about that.
And I've probably done more shows with you than anybody else too. We're closing in on 100.
Probably, I think that's probably true because I don't think I did over 100 with Gitmo Slave, and I sent him a Mac Mini.
Well, see, so for the 100th show, that should be a big blowout. Send me a Tesla because I can't drive all that well. So a self-driving car would be nice. Go into that Russian oligarch money you got just sitting there.
Yeah, the problem is it's all locked up. I can't get at it.
Yeah, and you don't want to be flying around in a Wagner plane. That's for damn sure.
I know. No, I had a dude I know that just flew out to Moscow, and I was like, dude, careful. That's kind of getting close to the action.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Unless you're talking about the action you get right here on Unrelenting.
That's right.
That was such an excitable thing. Can't we send it off on a little better note?
Or is this a wrap up? Are we done? Is this it?
We're past time, man.
Oh, I was just reading while we're on here and stuff. Oh, did Foundation restart?
Or is
the season 2 going now?
I don't know.
Yeah,
find out.
I need to find out.
Tune in.
I like that show.
Come back. We'll be here. Whether you want us to be or not, really.